Hey, I'm glad you're here today. I know you've probably heard a lot about fear, what it is, how to handle it, and how it holds us back. But what if fear is actually hiding something much bigger from you? Something that could completely change the way you see yourself, your life, and your potential. Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to share something you probably haven't heard before. Fear is not just an obstacle you need to overcome. It's actually pointing you directly to your greatest gift. That's right. What you fear most. That's exactly where your power is waiting. Let me show you why. First point, fear is the gateway to your deepest strengths. I want you to think about the last time you were truly afraid. Not just a little nervous, but the kind of fear that gets your heart racing and makes you question everything. It could have been public speaking, confronting someone you care about, or trying something new that scared the out of you. Whatever it is, think back to that moment. Here's the thing about fear. It's not random. It's trying to tell you something. Your fear is a signal, and it's signaling to you where your greatest growth lies. I'll share something personal. A few years ago, I was terrified of putting myself out there publicly. I kept telling myself that I wasn't good enough, that people would judge me, and that it was better to stay safe in my comfort zone. But guess what? That fear was showing me the one thing I needed most: courage. It was only when I finally stepped past that fear that I discovered a strength I didn't even know I had. That strength has been with me every step of the way since. So the next time fear shows up in your life, ask yourself, what strength am I about to discover? Because trust me, it's always there, hiding just beyond the fear. Point 2. Fear is a mirror reflecting your untapped potential. Let's dive a bit deeper. Fear isn't just about what we're avoiding. It's often a mirror reflecting something we're not yet ready to face within ourselves. Here's a truth I've learned the hard way. The things we fear most are often the very things that hold the key to our untapped potential. Think about something in your life you're terrified to try. Maybe it's taking a leap in your career, or starting that passion project, or even just having a tough conversation. The reason it feels so scary isn't because you're incapable, but because you've been living in a box that fear is trying to keep you in. Fear is a reflection of your growth potential, and it's asking you to step outside that box. I remember when I first considered leaving my comfort zone and sharing my personal story on this channel. The fear was overwhelming. I thought, what if no one cares? What if I fail? But here's what happened. I took the leap, and not only did I grow from it, but I realized that there were things I hadn't even known I could do. Things I was too scared to even think about. So when fear shows up in your life, see it as an invitation to look at what you've been avoiding, because that's where your potential is hiding. Ask yourself, what is fear trying to teach you about your potential? Point 3. Fear pushes you toward alignment with your true self. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Fear is not just trying to stop you. It's pushing you towards your authentic self. It's like an alarm bell going off, telling you that you're not living in alignment with who you truly are. It's showing you where you've been holding back from stepping into your full truth. I'll give you an example of my own life. For the longest time, I was afraid to fully embrace the direction I'm heading now in my work and personal life. I was afraid of what people might think, whether I was ready or whether I was just wasting my time. But here's what I discovered. When I finally gave in to that fear and decided to trust myself, something amazing happened. I started aligning my actions with my deeper purpose. I felt more connected to who I truly am than I have ever before. This alignment wasn't just about finding what I wanted to do. It's about listening to that quiet voice deep inside that's always known the truth. And you have that voice too. It's there, just beneath the fear, waiting for you to hear it. So the next time fear shows up, don't fight it. Ask yourself, what is this fear teaching me about where I need to be more aligned with my true self? Point 4. Fear is the catalyst for lasting change. And now, let's talk about something that might be a little uncomfortable. Fear can be the catalyst for real, lasting change. I know it sounds counterintuitive. We usually think of fear as something that holds us back. But what if it's actually the thing that drives us forward in ways we could never imagine? Think about a time when fear forced you to make a big decision. Maybe it was a change you had to make in your relationships, your career, or your health. The fear that you felt during that time, it was there to push you into action. And often, it's only when we face our deepest fears that we take the kind of massive action that leads to real change. If you're sitting there thinking, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that kind of change, let me tell you, you are. I'll give you another personal story. Years ago, I had to make a massive career change that terrified me. Everything I knew was being upended. But here's the thing. That fear forced me to take action in a way that I would never have if I had stayed comfortable. I had no choice but to grow. And that's what change does. It forces you to step up in ways you didn't think was possible. Fear doesn't just sit there. It propels you forward, often kicking you into the life you're meant to live. So, when fear starts creeping up, lean into it. It's telling you that you're about to make the change that could reshape everything for the better. So here's the bottom line. Fear is not your enemy. It's a guide. It's a signpost pointing you towards your deepest strengths, your untapped potential, your authentic self, and the change you're ready to make. The next time fear shows up, don't run from it. Ask yourself, what is this fear showing me? What is it inviting me to step into? Take a moment right now and reflect on where fear is showing up in your life. And instead of fighting it, ask yourself how you can use it to fuel your growth. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below and share what fear is teaching you in your life right now. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join me on this journey of growth and self-discovery. You don't want to miss what's coming up next. Thanks for spending this time with me. Keep reflecting, keep growing, and remember, your greatest gift is hiding just beyond your fear.